meeting was provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on December 10th, 2021. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Albanese.
Here.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilwoman Ponterero. Councilman Halloran. Vice President Crate.
Here.
President Menachino.
Here.
Thank you.
I'd like to take a moment to salute the flag and a moment of silence. Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you advise and accept the reports?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Probably read that wrong.
We know what you meant.
Yeah, I know, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes for January 1 and January 11, 2022 meetings, please?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Here.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Abstain on January 1st and yes to January 11th.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes to January 1st, abstain on January 11th.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
That brings us to our consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. Resolution 4-1.
Authorize award of bid, tree trimming, removal, and disposal services.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the award of bid for tree trimming, removal, and disposal services to Falkenberg Tree Expert Company, Brielle, in accordance with a schedule of prices based on various services. This will be an open-ended contract not to exceed $20,000 per year with funds to be certified prior to each service. Bid notices were sent to 35 prospective bidders from our bidders list and 7 picked up our bid packages. One bid was received, that being from Falkenberg Tree Experts as the lowest responsible bidder. This will be a 2-year contract commencing on January 29th, 2022 and ending on January 28th, 2024. To date, the Township has encumbered approximately $35,200 for the current 2-year contract. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-2.
Authorize award of bid on-site environmentally safe truck wash services.
Councilwoman Vice President Crate.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the award of bid for on-site environmentally safe truck wash services to Millspray LLC Lakewood at a schedule of prices based on the type of vehicle. This is a unit price bid not to exceed $80,000 per year with funds to be certified prior to each year. The award is for 2 years commencing January 26, 2022 and ending on January 25th, 2024. To date, the Township has encumbered approximately $137,000 for the current 2-year contract. Bid notices were sent to 20 bidders and 5 picked up bid packages. 1 bid was received, that being from Millspray LLC being the lowest responsible bidder. Thank you.
Resolution 4-3.
Authorize award of contract through New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Program, LCTRIVA.
Thank you. Councilman Albanese.
This resolution authorizes the award of contract for LCTRIVA filing system for land, U.S. Department to Garden State Office Systems and Equipment. Edison in the amount of $48,392.50. This purchase is being made through the New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Program.
Thank you. Resolution 4-4, please.
Authorize closeout change order number 1, improvements to Baywood Phase 2.
This resolution authorizes closeout change order number 1 for a roadway improvement to Baywood Phase 2 project. The change order decreases the contract by $64,048.27 as a result of final as-built quantities. Resolution 4-5, please.
Authorize execution of shared service agreement with County of Ocean Pump Out Boat Program.
This resolution authorizes the execution of a shared service agreement with the County of Ocean for the operation of maintenance to two pump-out boats, the Bay Saver and the Bay Defender, to service the effluent discharge needed of boaters in Brick Township waters. The pump-out boats provide a convenient, inexpensive, and environmental safe way for boaters to dispose of effluent waste. In this agreement, Brick operates and maintains the pump-out boats, and the county reimburses the township up to $20,000 for each boat costs incurred. Resolution 4-6, please.
Authorize execution of shared services agreement with Ocean County Prosecutor's Office Fatal Accident Support Team.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the execution of a shared services agreement in place with the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office to designate Brick Township police officers to be assigned to the Fatal Accident Support Team for the purpose of assisting in investigation, prosecution of fatal accidents, and in traffic enforcement and education. During times where additional manpower is needed for investigations and/or training, members of the FAST team will be called upon to assist officers and will be paid. Officers will be paid from the money prosecutors program funds, which is designated by the Ocean County Prosecutor and the Ocean County Board of Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-7.
Authorize to waive late fee for animal licensing.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution waives the dollar late fee for animal licensing. Due to the limited supplies, the Township Rabies Clinic will be held on January 30th, which does not allow for residents to obtain an animal license by the January 31st deadline.
Thank you. Resolution 4-8.
4-8A is an authorize the denial of release of performance guarantees for Eastern Enterprises on Jack Martin Boulevard. This resolution authorizes the denial for the release of performance guarantees for Eastern Enterprises. At the request of the applicant, our engineering department conducted an inspection of site improvements to ascertain the status of improvements by the performance guarantees. Brick Township ordinance requires as-built drawings be submitted before the guarantee is considered for release. As each partial release is applied for, as-built drawings on the bonded improvements shall be submitted to the township engineer. The as-built plans have not been submitted, and therefore no release can be approved. 8B is an inspection fund release for Anthony Palladino on Mar T Development on Manalooking Road in the amount of $123.25. 8C is an inspection fund release for Barghausen Consulting Engineers on Route 70 in the amount of $400. 8D is an inspection fund release for Home Helpers on Duquesne Boulevard in the amount of $401.66. 8E is an inspection fund release for Environmental Alliance on Manalooking Road in the amount of $43.85. 8F is an inspection fund release for D&J Realty Corp. On Route 70 and Brook Boulevard in the amount of $5,491.93. 8G is an inspection fund release for Helen Fayad on Chambersbridge Road in the amount of $826.64. 8H is an inspection fund release for HV Coffee LLC on Herbertsville Road in the amount of $387.07. And 8I is an inspection fund release for Amber Petroleum Inc. on Burn Tavern Road in the amount of $91.13.
Thank you. Resolution 4-9.
49A, tax overpayments for 2022. There are two, Block 86.06, Lot 10, in the amount of $1,790.27, and Block 903.27, Lot 8, in the amount of $1,534.98. 9B is a state tax appeal granted for Block 382, Lot 8, 35 Beaverson Boulevard, in the amount of $9,196.27, which is a two-year tax appeal. And 9C is a state tax appeal granted for Block 382, Lot 8.01, 35 Beaverson Boulevard, in the amount of $9,196.26, which is a two-year appeal.
Thank you. That ends the consent agenda. Can I get a motion and a second to end the consent agenda?
Motion?
Second.
Thank you. Open to council. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the resolutions only. Yes, sir.
I can take my mask off when I'm at the microphone, right? Okay, good. This thing's so difficult to breathe in. Sam Foster, 108 Chico Drive. This might be more appropriate for public, but you can tell me if it's inappropriate here or not. We have this is with regards to a shared services agreement that we have with the prosecutor's office. Where can I or any other citizen in town get a listing, if it is available on the website anywhere in town, or is there someone that we could call to get a listing of all shared service agreements that Brick Township has with other agencies, and what what the cost is breakdown as far as percentage-wise? Because years ago, we had a shared service agreement with Township. I remember I spoke with, during the council meeting, Mayor Ducey, and we dropped it because it was not economically worthwhile for us. We paid more than we were getting in, so to speak, or if I'm, I don't know, may have garbled that up a little bit, but I remember Mayor Ducey spoke about that. The amount of, in other words, the agreement we had with Township, I forgot what it was, I think it was the building department, and we had to shut it down because we were not getting our money's worth, so to speak, out of it. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. But is there any way that we can have a listing? Is there a website, anybody in town we could talk to, or call up that I could call up and get a listing of who we have agreements with and what our financial breakdown is, us and them?
Yes, Mrs. Bergen?
So Sam, those items, Mr. Foster, I'm sorry, those items,
Call me Sam. Call me Sam.
okay.
Be informal.
The items that you're requesting, you can always request through an Oprah request for shared service agreements that you want to view.
Okay.
I can tell you that it's not apples to apples. What you're looking at, the comparison you're giving is when they were providing a direct service to the Township of Brick, and we were looking at the service that we were getting versus what we were paying. These are shared services in the fact that we're already doing these programs, and the prosecutor's office offsets some of that money,
Yep.
some of the funds to implement the program. So it's not the same. It's program-oriented versus a direct service.
Yeah, but it's still, my concern is, I just wanted to know the breakdown of, what agreements we have so that we can see, I understand it may be apples and oranges, but how much, like the building department, we had built department here. When we combined it with Tom's River, we were getting shorted, so to speak, on that because it was more viable for us economically to have our own separate from Tom's River. I just want a list of what towns, how much, what the amount is and what the breakdown is as far as like, how much our responsibility is financial, employees, things like that, as opposed to them. But so there's no real way to do that across the board?
No, I would suggest filling out an Oprah request for the information that you're looking for.
Okay, that'll list all, everything
It's up to you what you ask for.
No, what I ask for in town, what I get are two different things, so.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I know you and Mayor Ducey know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to mention it. No, I'm
What?
not going to mention it. No, I remember that problem I had. Never mind, I'm going to bring it up in public. I'll talk to you later about it.
Thank you. Anybody else from public, please? Close public. Roll call.
Councilman Abenise. Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, my mic was off, sorry.
It's okay, we heard you. Resolution 410, please.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $2,945,990.16.
Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second, third?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Open to council. Close council. Open to public for questions on the computer bill only. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 411.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $3,593,986.22.
Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Close council. Open to public for questions on the manual bill resolution only. Seeing none, close public. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese.
Yes.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
This brings us to public comments.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Anybody from public, please? Mr. Sluka.
Okay, thank you. John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. I'll read my letter. Dear Mayor Ducey, and it's January 20th. Council President Vincent Menachino,
Yep.
and Councilman and Councilwoman around Brick. I messed it up last time. That's why I was here to apologize as
Okay,
well.
don't worry.
Some friend told me I messed it up, so I'm fixing it, hopefully. Yeah. Once again, I will stand before you to mention the need for increased brush and a large long wall in any area that is exposed to the toxins that are flowing off the Garden State Parkway. 10 years of this silent killer. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners began harming the health of all our residents and killing many residents for years. The toxins, noise, and other airborne debris has been coming off the Garden State Parkway in an involuntary thrust into the lungs of our seniors, children's mothers-to-be, and every one of us, workers and residents alike. For 10 years in the area surrounding Evergreen Woods condos, Greenbrier, Town Hall, Brick High School, Lanes Mill School, Birchwood, and other areas of Brick, we've been besieged by the poisons that have been forced upon us by the illegitimate actions of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority and their commissioners. Just recently, it seemed that everyone may have noticed that once again the Brick residents had suffered under the crushing thumb of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority commissioners. In case anyone missed it, I'm going to read from the Brick patch. Authorities are still investigating the cause, which I don't know if they're still investigating, but investigating the cause of a fire that was forced them to shut down the Garden State Parkway for at least 8 hours Wednesday evening. The fire was reported at 5:06 p.m. and was burning in the underground drain pipe. New Jersey State Police Sergeant Phil Curry said the drain pipe runs under the northbound and southbound lanes of the parkway, he said. Smoke from the fire billowed across the parkway, and the fire forced authorities to shut the highway down just before 6 p.m. Drivers were forced to detour off the parkway around the area of exit 98 southbound and exit 89A and B northbound. Dozens of motorists were caught up in the fire and road closures, causing a lengthy backup on the parkway. Curry said the closure was still in place at 2 a.m. when he replied to an email seeking updated information. The closure was lifted sometimes before 5 a.m. Residents of Evergreenwood Townhouse Complex told Patch the smoke was so intense it left a smoky smell in their house days later. Just maybe a wall, increased brush, and trees would have stopped the damage to the lungs of children and adults in the area. In order to save the health and lives of our residents and workers, 14 to 20-foot walls are needed, along with replanting and replacement of trees, brush, and grass that once bordered the Garden State Parkway roadway. Workers and residents of Brick continue to develop COPD. The children have asthma. Pregnant moms have autistic children. And seniors succumb to heart and lung illnesses and premature deaths. So truly something needs to be done. Help is needed. We should try at least force the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners to see the evil they have bestowed upon our residents. Walls of 14 to 20 foot and vast, high, and thick replanting of brush and trees are needed on the Garden State Parkway adjacent to Evergreen Woods, Brick High School, Greenbrier, Primrose Garden, Sutton Village, Lanes Mill School, Town Hall, Birchwood Park, and other areas in Brick Township and Ocean County. And to do this in order to correct some of the damage caused by the illegal actions of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners. Action needs to take place. I yield back a minute. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Without the hat, sorry.
Stephen Brill, Evergreen Woods Park Condominiums. As you were
As you are aware, there was a fire in the drainage pipe under the Garden State Parkway that traversed both the north and southbound lanes. My lungs were irritated by the dense smoke. According to news reports, that concrete pipe had a fiberglass liner that burned. My next-door neighbor and I have been trying to find out what toxins were released. We have contacted the state police, the State Department of Health, and the Department of Environmental Protection. Neither department has contacted us. We've been told to contact the fire marshal. Just today, there was a junkyard fire in North Jersey. According to Channel 7, they had an air quality reading of moderate. This came with a warning of lung irritation. No warning was issued for Evergreen Woods. As part of this criminal investigation, samples of the burnt fiberglass liner should have been taken and tested for carcinogens. This incident occurred about a week ago. That is important. For 10 years, the condominium owners in Evergreen Woods have attempted to have a sound barrier erected to protect us from car crashes, air and noise pollution. This barrier would have prevented the incident from occurring. That barrier would have cost about $1 million. The NJTA refused and found excuses to ignore their obligation. Now, after 1 week, the NJTA has found $3.5 million to fix a hole in the ground. Money is not an excuse. Brick Township must pass a resolution that demands the NJTA build that sound barrier. The sound barrier for Evergreen Woods must be built. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Council. My name's Louis Sorcelli. I live at 106 D Street in Brick. I moved here in 1999. It's the first time here. I'm a little nervous. I never had a problem, so I never brought it to you. I have a problem with an ordinance that there's no ordinance, and I know why there's no ordinance. There shouldn't be an ordinance, but unfortunately, you always get a bad apple in the crowd where we need an ordinance. I have a neighbor that we don't get along. He decided to put a camera up on the side of his house, facing my side. From my side of my house to the fence, I have like an 8-foot span. From his side of his house to my fence, he has maybe 50, 75 feet. I only have 8 feet to the fence. After he put the camera up, I decided I'm going to put a camera up. I put a camera up. I'm a security guard. I'm also a DJ. I was DJing one night, and my wife said, "Look at this." And in the camera, I was watching, and I'm watching a flagpole go up, a 20-foot flagpole, on the property line, not in the center of the yard where most normal people would put them, on the property line. Okay, up against the fence on the property line. When the wind blows the flag, where does the flag go? I am a patriotic guy. I'm not complaining about it. If this wasn't done for spite, I would not be here tonight. But because our military and our police fought for the freedom of this country, and the flag is being abused and used as a weapon, the flag was put there to block my camera, which burned my camera out because the camera works on motion. That's what he did. He was sick mind. So he used the American flag as a weapon. Okay? The flag is blowing over the fence in my face when I come out my side door. There's an ordinance saying that when a tree hangs over your fence in your property and it's a neighbor's tree, what are we allowed to do with the tree? You all know we're allowed to do with the tree. Am I right or wrong? Are we allowed to cut that tree? Are we allowed to trim that tree back? Okay, look. This is not where I want to go with this. I come here for help, 50-50, call a friend. I went downstairs, I talked to the ordinance. I'm here now to help, ask for help. This is not fair to me. It's not fair to the American flag. It's not fair to the people that died for this flag. The officers, the military, and everything else. Okay? My bedroom is on the side of that house right there where the flag is blowing. All I hear is all night long over the top of my fence. I know I'm not allowed to grab that flag because I can have something arrested. But when that flag is blowing over the top of that fence, and I get a stepladder, and I go up and I grab that flag, and it's on my side. Again, what happens to a tree? We're allowed to trim it, right? Now, I don't want to do this. That's why I'm here tonight. I'm a decent guy. I don't want to do this. I respect the flag. I love the flag. My grandfather died for that flag. I'm asking for help. I also have a picture I would like to show you, if I may, pass the iPhone to you and take a look at this. Okay? I'm asking that, I know we don't need an ordinance. We shouldn't have an ordinance for a flag. A flag is free. Should be put where you want to put it. But this was used as a weapon. It's hanging over my side of the fence as a weapon. If it wasn't used to block my camera, I would not be here tonight. Okay? Because it was just a flag. Every morning at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm a DJ. You know what I do every morning at 9 o'clock? I set my DJ speakers up outside. And I play God Bless America to the whole neighborhood at 9 o'clock every morning. And you know why nobody's called the cops on me? What are they going to say? He's playing a patriotic song. You're going to call the cops on me? You want to arrest me? Matter of fact, my neighbors behind me, they come on the deck every morning and cheer me on. The neighbors actually cheer me on. Because I'm not going to have this slap in my face when I come out my side door of my house. A flag slap me in the face and not salute it. I'm going to salute it. I bring this issue to you here today. I ask for help. I ask for your help.
You said you have a photo?
I have a photo I'd like to show you.
Council President Menachino, I thought,
And I also would like this, if the Land Use Committee could add this to their next agenda.
and then he could email me the photo that I'll bring to land.
But I would like tonight, if we could, just so you get an idea of what I'm talking about, because I think you need to see this.
So, again, you can hand the photo off,
Yeah.
and then it has to go to a different department before we
Okay.
Okay?
But like I say, I'm getting here tonight, I'm asking for help. I don't know where to go with this. This was used as a weapon. You know where I'm coming from.
Yes.
You don't do this to the American flag. People died for this flag. You're using it as a weapon. I don't know where to go from here. Do I come back to the next meeting?
Ms. Bergen?
I mentioned to Mr.
Socelli.
Socelli, I was close.
Very Irish name.
Oh, there you go. That I would give him an update after the next Land Use Committee meeting. I don't know off the top of my head what the date is. Jen, do you happen to remember? Okay. But it will be between now and, I believe, the next council meeting we're shooting for. So I'll be in touch with you after the Land Use Committee meets to discuss potential ordinances.
Okay, you need my phone number, or?
You have mine.
I have yours.
So if you email me the photo, I'll include that in my packet
Okay, that sounds good.
for the Land Use Committee.
Yeah, so I'll be back at the next meeting then.
You can. You're more than welcome
Yeah.
to any meeting you'd like to for an update, but I will
An
also
update.
update you.
Okay, I like I said, guys, I lived here 25 years. I never used this committee for nothing. I love Brick. The police officers in Brick are excellent. We have a good city here. My whole family's police officers. Forkett River, all over Newark, everywhere. I'm asking for help. That's all I'm asking for, and I hope we can solve this. We don't get along with my neighbor. I don't talk to him. He doesn't talk to me. The police been out several times. We don't talk. Matter of fact, I think the officer here was at, I know him already. He was brought out. All right?
Thank
So
you, sir.
I want to thank you all, and God bless all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Cole?
Nan Carl, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. First of all, I want to say congratulations to President Menachino.
Oh, you
I
said-
wasn't here for a couple of meetings. In fact, I wasn't here for a couple of years, but I'm learning to live with my disabilities, and until my eyesight fails me and I can no longer drive here because there is no public transportation here, I will continue to come. And as to Mr. Sorcelli, not Kelly. Sorry about that. I want to tell you, you not only have a right to be here for every single meeting and to speak at every meeting. I went to school close to 100 years ago, and I learned in my Catholic school. I went 12 years, had nuns for most of them. My children went to a Catholic grade school. I never had a nun as a teacher because by then the Catholic Church was changing the same way as the world has changed, but especially Brick Township. I was taught every right brings an obligation. You have a right to vote. You have an obligation as a citizen to vote. You have a right to speak at these meetings. You have an obligation to bring your problems. The municipality is subordinate to the county. The municipality and county are both subordinate to the state, and the three of them are subordinate to the federal government. But here, you would think it was people that each one of you, and I'm going to go on for my 5 minutes with a stream of consciousness that will include rhetorical questions, comments, and the need for all of us to get help that we haven't. I was coming to these meetings before Mr. Sluka. I honestly believe this town was going to be like where I grew up in Brooklyn, where I could walk to Ebbets Field, to Prospect Park, to the zoo, to the botanical gardens. So much more was in Prospect Park, still is. It's better than it ever was, but I can't drive that far anymore. And I thought it would be like that here, and we'd be family. When I was growing up, we weren't in my parents, my mother especially, stay at home, Mom, because that was the day. They weren't in one another's homes. My children were born in 61 and 62. I had the luxury, blessing actually, that until the younger one went to school full term, I was home with them. And when I went to work, it was a golden opportunity that it was within walking distance of my home. I dropped my sons at the Catholic school with my friend Ronnie, and we'd go on the avenue where we did shopping, or we paid bills like the telephone bill. That particular Monday, I had paid my bill the Friday before, but my friend Ronnie hadn't. So I said, I'll go with you. That's fine, because it'll give me a chance to see my maid of honor's mother, who works in the office. And when I did, she said, I gotta speak to you. What she had to speak to me about is just about half an hour before, the manager said he was looking for somebody with the training I had as a representative to cover lunch hours. I'd work 10 to 3. And Ronnie says, any day that the boys are in school, I'll be home. She lived down the block from me. And I'll keep an eye on them. Turned out my landlady, my wonderful, sweet, older woman, Greek, Zoe, she always kept an eye out. I'd come home from work, and if the boys had gotten there first, because it was a triangle, she'd tell me, the baby is doing this, and the little one is doing that. Well, the baby is going to be 60 years old on February 30th. The little one is going to be 59 in May. And believe me, he is no little one. He's tall, and he's quite hefty. He had never had to fight a battle because everybody was afraid of him. So they never crossed his path. He's the sweetest, gentlest, loving person you'd ever want to meet. And his 2 children are the light of my life. So I want to tell you, Mr. Sluka has been coming for 10 years. I was here before him. Nothing has ever gotten done. As far as I'm concerned, there are 2 kinds of parties in existence in this state. Repugnant Republicans, but they pale in comparison to the demonic Democrats. And I'm glad that this gentleman brought up, I think John Sluka said, evil, because I have come to think of many of you as evil politicians, and politicians is Paul's a 4-letter word to me that I would refrain from using. There's so much more Oh, but it's within 1 minute of how long the meeting lasted last time. And the time limit of 5 minutes was put in because meetings were going 2 hours. So they wanted to curb it, and they put 5 minutes with the understanding that if there was reasonable time left, we would be heard a second time, and everybody would get heard. Nothing gets done. There are so many things that are wrong, but you're not going to listen, and worse, nobody's going to do anything about it.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Yes, sir.
Sam Foster, 108 Chico Drive. I was going to make a joke. President mentioned...
Not a bald joke, right?
I'm sorry?
Not a bald
I
joke?
was going to make a joke about demonic, because you'd have a demonic look up there. Now, I watch South Park. It's funny because they have this episode with Satan, and I was going to compare you to that character, but I
Now
better
I'm a
not.
cartoon character.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I just want to say, first of all, I haven't been here in a while also because I've been sick and everything. I'm a disabled person also. And I want to say to Councilman Albanese, welcome aboard. I'm glad to see you, and it's good to see Mr. Gilmore is back involved in political campaigns. He's done a wonderful job over the years at the county and state, and right here in Brick. We had wonderful council members years ago. I still miss them, I really do. Tony Matthews, Ruthin Scaturo, John Catalano, Steve Acropolis, really good people, good. And we all, even the people that voted against him, I campaigned with Premier Ducey when his council first time. When I went to door campaigning for the Democrats, they said, you know, I spoke with people, and they says, yeah, I know, they agreed that we needed to make a change, but they liked the Republicans. They didn't vote against them because they didn't like them. So I just want to say thank you for, I was saying, welcome aboard, and it's good to see you up there. And,
Thank you, appreciate it.
and I hope, like I said, Mr. Gilmore's done a great job over the years. I've been critical of him, but he's a fantastic campaigner, he really is. Council President Mancino, did I get your name right? Mancino?
Close enough.
Close enough, okay. After the Satan comment, South Park Satan comment, I guess you don't want me to say too much. All right, but congratulations on your appointment. I saw it on TV, so thank you. And I want to thank this council because you've been very well behaved, which we haven't had in the past. So although with the changes that we've made, it's been for the better over the years, so thank you about that. I have a question. I want to follow up on what Ms. Call said, and that is that about things getting done. Now, last time I spoke with Mayor, mentioned it last time about sometimes I don't have things that what I request from the town, I don't always get. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about this because I know it's sensitive and people in the government get upset when I mention it, but I called the police because I was being harassed on the job. I was working at Pizza Hut at the time, and the police report is wrong. I mentioned, I meant this to both of you because the last time I spoke, I mentioned this because the police came and the report was wrong, and the officer that initially arrived there had responded to another incident, but I'm going to make this quick. Basically what happened was that the report is still wrong. I had evidence. I had recorded a woman who was screaming and cursing at me and threatening me, and I still have it on my cell phone, and the police would not accept the evidence. I've never heard of that. And the reason, so I've never heard of the police refusing to accept evidence. I want to emphasize here something, and that is that the rank and file police there, I have no problem with them. It's just when it gets to the level of, you know, I don't want to, you know, I'll just say it. It's from the lieutenants, mostly captains and lieutenants, and yes, I have trouble with Chief Reacher also, but the rank and file police, I have no problem with them. They're very supportive of me, but I come down, the report was wrong, and I had to go to the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office, Internal Affairs, because the Brick IA wouldn't do anything. So the question I have to all of you is, rather than making a scene, because when I did go to the Ocean County IA, Brick IA got mad at me. I don't know his name. He's a lieutenant, and he got very mad at me because he says, you went to the county. And he said, I says, yeah, well, you weren't doing anything. And I said, what am I supposed to do? I got this evidence, and they wouldn't accept it. So I had to go, says, what I have to do? So he just got very rude with me, very smart, sarcastic, and I still do not have a report that accurately reflects the fact that I was harassed on a job, and that I have a tape recording of being screamed and cursed at. I can play it to you if you want me to. I have it right here on my phone. I told the prosecutor's office about it as well, and they're supposed to accept it. He was yelling at me, but he was mad because I guess had a frustration too. And I want to emphasize that, you know, the rank and file brick police, there's no problem, but when you get up to that level of, that there's that certain level there, and it's just, something has to be done. I want to know, I'm going to say this to the prosecutor's office and Attorney General's office. What do I have to do now? Next time that there's a problem with them, and I call the police, even if I'm not, even as a victim, what am I supposed to do here when there is nothing, when the reports are wrong? They got my name wrong. I showed this to Joanne Bergen and to Mayor Ducey's secretary. The first report that when I had listed me as a suspect, and it had said my name was Stefan Johansson, 6 feet 2 inches tall, blonde hair, blue eyes, and weighed 150 pounds. I mean, look at me. How you can get that wrong? It took me 3 months just to get my name right on the report and to accurately reflect it. I was the one that called the police to complain about being harassed. And I still don't have a report yet documenting that I tape recorded being screamed and cursed at and threatened on the job. So, that's the point where I'm at right now is like Ms. Cole said, what are you going to, you've been here for a long period of time. What are you doing to help us? Because it's ridiculous. How can I feel safe if I go home and I'm sleeping, I hear someone breaking into my house and I call the police? What expectation do I have based upon the prior conduct? And again, it's not the rank and file police. It gets to that level of executive level. I'm telling you, I have a problem with Chief Riccio and Deputy Chief Ling, and that's pretty much it. And it's just, something has to be done here. And I just want to know what is going to be happening about this, because I can go to the Attorney General's office, but, what I'm saying? That's just it. Well, that's just the point I'm going to make. If you want to talk to me privately or whatever, fine, but I'm not trying to be disruptive or anything. I just have a legitimate complaint, and, I have the tape recording of being threatened right here on my phone, and the police would not accept it. So what am I supposed to do? So that guy said, that's just the point here.
Council President, may I respond?
If you want to talk, if you want me to bring up in private or something.
No, I was just going to tell you, first, it surprises me that you have trouble because the police are, in my experience, very responsive. However, you have actually laid out the process if you're dissatisfied with something law enforcement does. The mayor and council don't have jurisdiction over law enforcement matters in BRIC. That's with the police, and the police report to the Ocean County Prosecutor and Attorney General.
Yeah.
So you're, if you are dissatisfied, you're talking to the right people. I just wanted to let you know that that's sort of the chain of command for law
Yeah, so
enforcement.
after that, but, it's just that there's a response time of, when the initial thing happens between, like that thing happened at Pizza, that was like 2 years ago. So by this time, I'm just trying to decide in the future, what do I do? After I went to the prosecutor's level and then I stopped because I thought I was going to get some help. But now, do I really have to go to the New Jersey Attorney General's office, or is there something in place here? I know that, I think it was Councilwoman Pontigliero. Is she sort of a liaison between the police and the council, or what? But
We have liaisons for personnel things, management things, but what you're talking about is law enforcement. And like I said, the police, I think, are some of the best police I've ever dealt with. But there is a process. If there's a concern you have with the law enforcement, that goes to the Ocean County Prosecutor, and then the next up the chain is the Attorney General. So
okay,
that is the route you want to follow if you have a concern.
I appreciate that. Just was because I know that I'm not making they're mad at me, and I see the hostility because I went to the prosecutor's office. But your opinion about the police, I'm not going to get into an argument with you about it. You all know what happened in court years ago in Judge Pearson's courtroom. So, and I think that this is something that's following up on that. You know what I'm talking about, the lawsuit I filed and the finding of guilt in Judge Pearson's courtroom. And a lot of the police that are at that executive level, they were friends with that crooked cop. You know who I'm talking about. So I'll just, like I said, I appreciate your help. I know I'll just have to take it up with the Attorney General's office then or something. But that's it.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Thank you. This brings us to council comments. Mrs. Bergen,
No, thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, thank you. Just want to give an update on some good news that happened through the court system. As many people out there know, there's a school funding formula. Well, there supposedly is a school funding formula. Let me put it that way. And we have asked for that. The school has asked for that. The government, the council, myself, we did resolutions, we did letters asking for that school funding formula and got turned down over and over again. We then, well, not we, but the council then authorized the school board, for some reason we had to do that, to be able to be part of a lawsuit suing the state of New Jersey, which is a funny thing as a side, because the state of New Jersey is the one who always comes up with these Oprah laws, these open public record laws, but they always exempt themselves. You know, they say, oh yeah, well, everybody else out there has to give up everything, but we don't have to give up anything. So even when another government, a town, a school board, many across the state are asking for the school funding formula, they always said, no, 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 we're not going to give it to you. It's proprietary, which is absolutely ridiculous because it's taxpayer money that paid for it. So nothing's proprietary. It's open record. So we had to sue them. And then a judge just the other day came up with a decision and said, yes, state, you have to hand over that formula. And not only do you have to hand over the formula, you have to hand over the data that you used in order to come up with what each individual school district is going to gets as far as state aid. So why that's important is because, like all of you would think, well, if they're not giving it to us, they're probably either not following it, it doesn't exist, or something worse. Yeah, so hopefully it's none of those things. But now we're all going to find out in the state of New Jersey and right here in Brick Township, where they have been cutting our school funding year after year after year through S2. They're not going to be able to do that anymore without knowing why. We're now going to know what numbers they put into this formula in order for allow them to cut that funding. So I want to thank the judge for making that decision. I want to thank the school board for filing that lawsuit, and I want to thank the citizens for pressuring the government as much as we could. And unfortunately, when that didn't work, we had to go to the courts, and we were successful. So it's good news for the town, and hopefully that'll increase our school funding, because we can see really what they're doing and why they're cutting us here in Brick Township and not other places that deserve it. Thank you.
Mr. Starkey.
Yes, I just have one thing. Former Councilman Mumolo is now on the Brick MUA. He's a commissioner over there. He asked me to remind everyone that the MUA has monthly meetings. This week, actually, they have 2 meetings because they have their first meeting of the month on January 28th. That's Thursday at 7 p.m. And their reorganization is on Monday, and it's early. It's 9:30 a.m. The public is invited and welcome to attend. That is at, the MUA building is at 1551 Route 88 West, right down the street from Tuscany Restaurant. So he said, please let everyone know it's public. You're welcome to come attend, comment, ask questions, what have you. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk.
Yes, hi, I just wanted to remind everybody that this Sunday, weather permitting, we are going to have our annual rabies clinic, January 30th, I don't know if I said that, from 10 until 12 at the Drum Point Sports Complex.
Thank you. Madam Secretary.
And I'll be there.
Councilman Albanese. Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong, did I happen to read in the media that not only did the judge rule in our favor, that he awarded attorneys, that the state has to pay the attorney's fees for the plaintiffs as well?
I didn't look at that part. I was just so happy about the, but you could be right. If you read that, I'm sure you're correct.
To me, that's double good news, because we didn't have to pay. They ruled in our favor, and we didn't have to pay for it. So
awesome.
It's a good day.
Thanks for spreading the good news.
Speaking of not having to pay for things, I would certainly hope that your billable time for that conversation with Mr. Mumolo was billed to the MUA and not to the council.
I guarantee it.
And then finally, I just want to remind everyone, as you may be aware, the federal government initiated a program where 4 free at-home rapid COVID tests will be provided for each residential address. If you are interested in ordering your free test, simply go to http://special.usps.com/test kit, and you enter the information, and they will arrive at your doorstep. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. Upcoming, before the next council meeting, we have 2 new ribbon cuttings for new businesses that are opening in Brick. We have Buff City Soap. Their ribbon cutting is on February 3rd, and they're going to be in Brick Plaza. I believe they're by Memoms in Burlington in that little corner. And then we also have Sephora opening on ribbon cutting on February 4th in Kohl's Plaza, and they are going where Payless Shoes used to be. For our seniors, now that it's tax season, we are offering free tax preparation services through our Office of Senior Services. This is something that they do every single year, and we have fantastic retired accountants that volunteer to come in every tax season to help out our seniors to prepare their taxes. I know I don't even want to look at mine. I just hand everything over and they come up with a number. So God bless the work that accountants do. And then also for our seniors on February 11th also you have to call to make an appointment. You can't just show up to seniors and just walk in and say you want your taxes done. You must call for an appointment and call soon because it fills up quick. The number there is 732-920-8686. And then on February 11th is the Valentine's Day Lunch and Bingo at 12 o'clock for seniors. And then on February 18th, Senior Services is hosting a Price is Right game show for seniors, and that's at 11 a.m. Again, all these things you have to call and reserve your space for. It's 732-920-8686, and with that, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Crate.
I have nothing.
Okay, so there is a group of kids in town. I'm going to hold this up. There are Brick Community Children's Theaters, won a national award. It's young men and women. It's quite the accomplishment. It's a national award that kids come from Bricktown. So constantly during the year you hear about kids from Bricktown winning awards nationally. It's quite an accomplishment. I want to congratulate them. Hopefully somebody's watching at home or will review this on Channel 20 or whatever it is, but hopefully that's good. So the next council meeting will be held on Tuesday, February 8th, 2022 at 7 o'clock here. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Motion and meeting adjourned.